The Late Night Legends podcast is meant for an adult audience only. It may contain sexually oriented content. Content may not be suitable for sensitive listeners. Please be aware of your surroundings. Listener discretion is advised. Watch out.
It's a strange day. The roses are in bloom, but in a strange way. I know somehow we're doomed. I look around through the town, not a soul to be found. In silence, not a sound. There's no one around but you. In the back of the car, on our way from the bar. In silence, here we are, reminding us how we're doomed. What can I say? It's time we come to the end. We circled around.
Late Night Legends Internet Podcast Radio Show. My name is Frank Barrientos, United States of America, and I am here tonight with my two co-hosts, Joan and Kay. And we are here tonight to talk about some awesome stuff, as usual. We're running about 10 minutes late, so I'm not really going to give it any updates except for tonight. The following people have off. Jesse took a sick day. James is off tonight, and we've got Charlie off tonight. We're going to be working on their schedule, so they're going to be making more regular appearances. I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to have a meeting soon, and we've got a lot of good stuff in the future coming up. We've got paranormal art next week, Monday. After that, we've got I Don't Know. After that, we've got I Don't Know. And then we've got wedding superstitions. And then there's a week in April where we're not going to have a show because we're all going to be hanging out. So,
yep.
Those are updates and news. Do we have anything else that we want to discuss prior to start?
The Bandaged Man of Oregon is the one after paranormal art.
Okay, great. That is true.
That is true. That is the only update and correction.
That'll be case. Can't wait for it. That's going to be amazing. And then really quick, do you want to let people know about our TikTok? Because I know we're doing a big push for TikTok.
Oh, yeah. You should go watch us over on TikTok at Late Night Legends. And we've been doing some pretty fun stuff over there. We're slowly pulling it out. We had some people mentor in the comments. What was the one that came up? Oh, about the rules of Appalachia. And someone was saying that they learned those rules in elementary school. Someone did question if they're allowed to sing Slipknot since they aren't allowed to whistle. I have not gotten back to them on that because I have not done further research into it. But yeah, we get questions.
I was not aware of these comments or questions, but I think that's awesome.
I'll have to get on there and reply with my research.
You should.
On that same note, I also want to give a shout out to Charlie, who's actually creating all that content for TikTok exclusively. As of right now, Charlie and Joan are working on that one together. Charlie's making the content, and then Joan's kind of publishing them. So right now, my editing is just like YouTube stuff and what you're watching now, probably, and then that's him. So, we're gonna get him acclimated and then give him some more stuff to do. But right now, that's all Charlie. So shout out to Charlie. Thank you so much for helping us out.
Thanks. It's been really great. I really enjoy it. The next ones we're gonna be posting is actually from our Egyptian Curses episode. So be on the lookout if you wanna just remember those fondly and in short bursts.
Yes. Really great episode. Thanks to James for doing that one. I think that's been within the last, not talking about last week, which was the CE5 follow-up, but for like the last maybe month and a half or so of shows, I think that one's been the most popular YouTube-wise. I think we've done the best with James on the Egyptian Curses, which is surprising to me because I don't feel like they're, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't like talking about that stuff because I always talk to coworkers and stuff like, how do you feel about this? And like they honestly like really talking about ghosts, but I feel like when it gets to that stuff, they're like, whatever. And it's like, it's not whatever. It's kind of cool, actually. Anyway, whenever you're ready, take us in. I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna drink some Snapple.
Okay.
Let's go.
You do that. Okay, so you might notice that our backgrounds, well, my background, is a little different today. It's green because I'm still celebrating St. Patrick's Day as someone who is half Irish, but very Americanized Irish. Oh, now we're all green. Good. We're all green.
That's terrible.
We're not green.
I'm gonna go blow up my candles. It's the only thing that's not green.
No, it's fine. Don't blow them out. It's fine. I have a Guinness. I have poured it into a glass because that's the way you're supposed to do it. I did pour it halfway and then wait and then pour more because that is the way you're supposed to do it. So, to cure your hangover a little bit, we'll give you some hair of the dog, and we're going to talk about Irish folklore today. So let's get into it. Irish folklore is obsessed with death. And not just like the idea of dying. A lot of folklore deals with this or that will kill you. Not Irish folklore. Irish folklore accepts that you will die. It's cool with that. What it really focuses on is the details, like the when, the where, the how. The three examples that I can think of are the banshee, who warns specific families of death coming to them, or the Irish doppelganger, which if you see your own will give you hints about how you're going to die.
Jesus.
Or today's topic, which is the Dullahan. The Dullahan's origins are theorized to begin during the time of King Tigerbus, which is 1621 to 1544 BC, who worshipped the Celtic fertility god Cromdubh. In order to satisfy this god and have a bountiful harvest and healthy livestock, the king made human sacrifices in Cromdubh's name, specifically by decapitation. When Christianity came to the Emerald Isle in the 6th century, they condemned this practice. But you know the old saying, can't keep a good god down. So Cromdubh took things into his own hands. Instead of waiting for a sacrifice to be made, the Dullahan was created from Cromdubh's need for sacrificial heads, and he now rides around during the nights of certain festivals and feasts to take the head of his victim. Thoughts?
I mean, I have a thought. Do we know, do you know, like within your research, have you, we've got somebody in YouTube with the handle of Alex Jones saying this is interesting. Thank you, Alex Jones. I appreciate it.
Oh my God, Alex Jones?
Yeah, apparently Alex Jones. Yeah. So, while doing the research for this particular topic, did you come across any specific how this entity looks? Because a lot of the artwork that I saw, it's really hard to differentiate him from the headless horseman.
So we're going to get into that. I promise. I got it. That wasn't the end. Like, okay, done.
Oh, just one of the questions like,
no, it's okay. No, go ahead. No, I love it. Okay. I want this to be stated at the top, literally my next paragraph. Mostly so James doesn't come after me. Yes, the Dullahan has been described as a headless horseman, but the headless horseman of Sleepy Hollow depicted in Washington Irving's 1820s tale is probably a combination of the Irish Dullahan and the German, who also have a folklore of a headless horseman. And you can think of the Dullahan as having like an American cousin. This is all I will say about the Sleepy Hollow's headless horseman before James takes my head.
I'll do it too.
He will. I didn't have time. I almost made an edit of like James frowning and then James like putting a thumbs up.
I'll put it in post. Don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Actual footage. Okay. As mentioned, one way the Dullahan is described is as a headless horseman. The reason for him being headless may be due to the ancient Celts' belief that the soul is found in one's head and could be a continued source of spiritual power. He is said to ride a horse blacker than night itself, and some tellings, the horse is also headless. Sometimes the Dullahan is completely headless, other times he is said to be carrying his head, which apparently smells like spoiled cheese, and his rotting skin has the complexion of soured dough.
Wow, it's like me.
We don't want to tell you that, but
It's okay.
it's time.
You can't smell me, so I get it.
We can tell. We can look at you and go, oh.
Okay, thank you.
The face of the Dullahan is said to have fiery-looking eyes and a splitted grin which reaches from ear to ear. Some accounts say he holds his head up so high that he can look out for his next victim. And actually, I'm going to have to move you guys just for a second because I don't need you to see your own faces, but I will share you a picture of what some say the Dullahan looks like. Hold on. I have to make this. Huh?
I think it's really interesting that they believe that the soul lives in the head. And I heard somebody ask the question, like, where do you live in your body? Like, if you think about where you are in your body, where are you? Because not everybody lives like right behind their eyes.
I'll also say on that note that sort of unrelated. Well, I'll tell you guys off air.
Okay. So this is one description. As you can see in this one, the head, also, or the horse, also headless. I almost said the head, also horseless, which is not completely false. And then he has his head going on there. I do like the be free look he's kind of giving out. Be free, go,
Live your life.
live your life. So that is one depiction of the Dullahan. I will stop sharing with you for a little bit. Okay. Other descriptions of him have him to not be a headless horseman, but a headless coachman, known as the Koistebauer, or the silent coach, who drives a carriage made of coffins, candles, and bones with 6 black horses who run so quickly flames come from their hooves and nostrils.
Wow, I want to ride around in that.
Right? It sounds pretty rad. I do have a picture. There's only 4 horses depicted here, I will say. So a little sad, but there we go.
Oh, it doesn't look as cool as you described it, but
I know. There wasn't a lot of good pictures of it, sadly.
It's missing coffins and candles.
I think they're in the coach itself, which we don't get a good view.
Multiple coffins, though?
Multiple coffins.
Okay,
Multiple.
I don't know. I feel like it would be a lot more scary than this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But also, I will say multiple coffins, that might be to like weight the carriage down, because like if you're going so fast and you hit a bump and there's no weight in that carriage, it's going to fly.
That's true.
Physics.
Letting me know that's physics.
Physics. Science. I work in STEM.
Are you okay?
No, I do work in STEM. That's not a lie. I'm just not good at STEM. They gave me a job in it, though. Okay, anyway. Okay. No matter how many horses this man has at any given time, his purpose is always the same. Whenever the Dullahan finally stops, he will say one name. This is the name of the chosen victim, and their soul has been marked for death.
Shit.
What do you think marked for death means in this case?
Probably that they're going to die and they're going to be chased by death somehow, whatever that might mean. That's my guess.
Yeah, I kind of think of that like black pirate dot on the palm of the hand. Like they can find you, you know?
I'm glad that you all have thoughts because everywhere I looked just said they were marked for death, and then that was it. It was done. They did not explain what that meant.
Alex Jones would like to say those are some crazy words. Thanks for that, Alex Jones. Thank you.
What
So
the
we only
what-
just take like one at a time.
Yeah, just one.
He just like zooms around with his horses and then like urch.
And stops
Ow.
once.
Says
Man, a
that-
few words. He does not. His head is not attached. So man, a few words.
And then he's
Says
on
one name.
he's on his way after he says the name. He's like, all right.
Yeah, he actually goes deuces and and leaves. He doesn't say deuces. I'm just kidding. It's just the name. He's a man of few words. I've said that.
A man of one word.
One word. I don't. Maybe they have a long name. I don't know, like
Maybe.
2 at least. 2. Like I feel like there'd be a couple of Seans
James
in
has
the
a
neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
James
like
has-
maybe don't just say Sean. Like Sean O'Neill, Sean O'Reilly, something like that.
Alex Jones would like to say he would say deuces also.
Okay. I'm glad. Good for you.
Thank you, Alex Jones.
You don't oh my god. The Dullahan Irish goodbyes.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Last time I got an Irish goodbye on this show, it didn't turn out so well for the other people that gave me that Irish goodbye. Just saying.
No, I know. I was gonna say I need to end the show now. That was the best joke. I just made
Yeah.
it.
I can cut it so we could just Irish goodbye.
That's
Oh,
it.
I just deuce like number 2. Okay.
Alex Jones, come on, dude.
Alex Jones would say that.
For Sandy Hook and now this shit.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt, you shut your mouth.
How often does this guy like zoom around?
So it's only they also not descriptive feast and festival days, but not every festival, just some festivals.
He's a busy man. He has stuff to do.
He
Is it-
does.
Is it only around this time of year?
No,
Any festival?
any,
So I'm,
but not all.
all right, so I'm sitting down for a Christmas festival. I see someone coming down. Could be Santa in the sleigh because he's got multiple animals leading it. But no, it's until ahead. I'm like, ah, shit. Everybody hide and cover your ears because he'll mark you for death.
Well,
it
it's
real?
not. No, it's not everyone. He has someone in mind. He's very specific. What were you saying, Kay?
You're just like, oh my gosh, is it Rudolph's red nose or like nose flames?
Yeah. So confusing. So you may be thinking, which you weren't, but you might be. Let's just say you were. Well, I'm safe as long as my name isn't the one called. Wrong. You're wrong.
Oh.
It is advised that if you hear hoofbeats after dark on the nights of festivals and feasts, to run inside and close your blinds. For if you lay eyes on the Dullahan, he will blind you.
Forever?
Mm.
Yes. Yes.
He's getting better and better.
He has 2 methods of doing this. One is he throws a basin of blood in your eyes, and it magically blinds you. Don't ask where he pulls out the basin. Not described.
Where's the blood come from?
I don't know. But the other way that he blinds you is that he will whip your eyes out with his whip made of a human spine.
Oh.
And I was going to show a picture of that, but all the Reddit, there's like one that was made on Reddit, and I don't think it's TOS, so we're not gonna show it.
Boring. Whatever.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry. I would like to not get in trouble. So
You know, I don't care. I would put it up. But it's I respect you're the team lead because you make these good judgment calls where I otherwise would fucking not.
So I've heard this thing that Americans are the main ones that get like crazy drunk on St. Patrick's Day and the Irish don't really do that. Is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know what crazy drunk would be. I've never been to Ireland. Actually, it's like one of my bucket list places to go. I do think it's more of a religious holiday over there because it is like a feast day for a saint.
It's a saint, right, of some kind. I
Yeah.
heard that Patrick was not even Irish. He was British.
He was British and Roman.
Yeah, he wasn't an
Yeah.
Irish.
And then he rid all of Ireland of the snakes, which snakes is code words for druids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
We all know him.
St. Patrick was not very nice. But like there's the argument that like St. Patrick's Day in America is more of a heritage type holiday, especially because the Irish were not treated very nicely when they came over to America.
Right.
Similar arguments are also made about like Columbus Day and Italian heritage for the same reasons. The issue being with Columbus Day, both awful. I would say historically we know more about Columbus. So, like,
Yeah,
awful, but also he's not a saint. So at least St. Patrick is tied to a religion.
I'm impressed how like when I was a kid, nobody talked about how much of a shitbag Columbus was until like the last like 10 years. And
Right?
then at first I'm like, why don't people like this holiday? And I found out I'm like, yeah, that's not a good, that's kind of a bad look.
There's like a whole scene in The Sopranos that like we had. Oh, kitty.
That's the construction scene. I saw that scene where they're like, where they were discussing Columbus Day because of the like there's a job site strike, and then like Furio said that they don't even like Columbus in Italy.
Probably not. I mean, he was Italian, but like he sailed for Spain in order to get something. Yeah, it's not a nice guy. Most people who colonized the world, not nice people.
I heard
St.
that
Patrick colonized for the Christian religion. Not very nice. Not nice.
My question is just like, if you know that this guy's gonna be driving around doing his little thing, gonna call a name, you know, I would be really scared to not have all of my wits about me, be, partying too hard and, potentially have my name called, but not
cast out drunk and you don't perceive your name being called.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the thing about Irish folklore, and a lot of it is that like they're really cool with death. Like they're like death comes for everyone. Like no matter what. So it's not a lot about like avoiding it. It's more the like they want to know when it's gonna happen. But they've already accepted that it's happening. But
so
like
he pulls up and he's like, your name, deuces, and the person just like, hey, deuces.
They're like
Let's
also deuces. Like
Also
I guess
deuces.
like it's scary because that's like the thing. Death comes for us. That's very freaky.
I just feel
But
like
yeah.
Like, you guys ever see that meme of that guy who gives the deuces and then he just fades away? He disappears, and you know what I'm talking about?
Are you about Homer Simpson in the bushes?
Bush, not the bush. This one, this fellow, I don't know. That meme is like he gives the deuces and then he disappears.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope you find that and put that in post so we can all understand what you're talking about.
I'll put it in
Do
the
it.
might remind you in the Discord.
Okay, that works.
Fine.
This is the last little thing I will say about this. I know it's a short one, but like the lore to this one is pretty straightforward. Unlike a lot of folklore, and a lot of it like gets muddled in with different stories. So I tried to stick with things that I found in multiple sources to try to be more coherent with it. Because like there are other things that say like, oh, the Dullahan's a dark fairy, but don't describe exactly what that means about being a dark fairy or like how that happens. So I tried to stick with things I found in multiple places. So the last thing is locked gates and doors are said to open for the Dullahan on his journey, leaving nothing to block his destined path. So you may be surprised that there is one way to stop him. Kind of.
Go on.
If your name is called, you will die. That is the end. You're going to die. But if you accidentally see him, you can stop him by either wearing a piece of gold jewelry or dropping a gold coin, and he just disappears.
Hold on. If you see him, you can survive if you do that. But if you see him, you're also blind. He'll blind you.
Not if you like throw it out or you're wearing it. He'll be like, "Oh, never mind, my bad, sorry." He won't say it. You'll just feel it.
All right.
It's a sense.
Can you
What?
check out the Discord and look at this guy? Tell me if you've seen this meme before.
Yes.
This dude says and he disappeared. Okay.
Okay. Yes, I have seen this. Okay. No, now I know what you mean. So I don't know why you're acting surprised. There's so much folklore about precious metals keeping like creatures away from you. Usually it's silver. What'd you say?
You said I don't know why you're surprised about
Why are you
because there's a lot of folklore about precious metals, and my answer was it's because I don't know that folklore. It's because I don't know.
That's
why.
untrue. You definitely do. How do you kill a werewolf?
You make sure the moon never comes out again. No, I don't know.
With
Don't
a silver bullet.
Oh, I thought that was a vampire. Isn't that a vampire?
No, that's a stake to the heart.
No, I think vampires are also silver, right?
No, it's a stake to the heart.
Pretty sure vampires in some folklore are silver.
There might be
too,
something about silver. There's a lot about silver. I know in Irish folklore again, changelings. There's a lot about iron. And a lot like anytime there's like there's a lot of like metal use. It also changelings are a type of fairy, but like a lot of fairy folklore is using iron to keep them away. That's why like a lot of fences are made with iron in cultures. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the Dullahan. Questions, comments, concerns?
Many concerns.
Oh, okay.
Wait, are you going to tell us the concerns? Or are you just going to say you have?
Just concerned in general.
Just in general concern.
I would like to say that I would really enjoy a film. It sounds like we could make a movie because God knows
Really?
we
Who
don't.
would you have star in this movie?
We,
Would it be Johnny Depp?
we should do it. We should do it. Just like take videos of ourselves really crappily acting and then like splice them together and post it on TikTok.
Well, James is an actor,
Well,
but
he doesn't have to be in it.
but he could be disappointed in us. Is
He
what
could be.
could be. He could be embarrassed that we did that if we did that. But I would say it sounds like the title "Don't Mess with the Zohan." So in that spirit, I'd like to cast Adam Sandler as the Beast, as this entity, and yeah, no, I don't even like Adam Sandler, so I don't know. But I honestly think it could make for a really good movie. We have so many movies. We've beaten vampires to death. We've eat like werewolves. How many werewolf movies are there? So many. Even Headless Horseman. Like, yeah, there's the Johnny Depp movie. That's cool. But this could make for. He needs his moment to shine, and we need to
So
be.
there are a lot of modern interpretations of the Dullahan, a lot in video games. But also there is the anime da-da-da-da-da. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, that's.
Do-da-da-da-da.
Was
I'm
that
like,
an English name? Oh, is it a Japanese anime that's like it's a word in Japanese? Is that it?
that's a great question. I don't speak. I will show you the name of it. Like,
Mhm.
it's the name of it. Right there. How would you say that?
Showing us the Discord or
Oh, sorry. No, I thought I was showing it to you, but I wasn't. Right here.
Rah, rah, rah.
That's what I said.
Barbara. Well, hey.
So I wasn't making it up. That's how you say it. But they have a modern interpretation where their Dullahan is actually a woman, and she rides on a motorcycle, and she is in search for her lost head, and that's why she ends up in Japan as part of it. So
Wait,
there's modern interpretations.
that's not the same. Okay, I guess interpretation is not the exact folklore.
No.
I guess.
No, it's not. I mean, a lot of the modern interpretation is not the exact folklore, But like if you're looking for an exact folklore, I don't think there's many done of it. Not that I like came across. There's a lot of like, as I said, like video game characters where like you can play as a villain. Um, a lot of people like to make fan art and stories of it.
Why are you hesitant to talk about it?
Because I don't know what to call it, and I don't want to call like I found a lot. I didn't find a lot. I found some information like fandom wikis, and, and they were the ones who were like, "It's a dark fairy," and I'm like, I don't know what you mean by "it's a dark fairy." Please describe that to me. Because to me, like, most fairies in different cultures are seen as creatures that interact with nature in some way or derive from nature and are usually mischief but are protectors of natural elements in some way. I don't think a headless guy taking people's souls is protecting nature in any way, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe if it comes for bad people.
Maybe. But like I don't think so, because like it's very clear that like no, everyone's on the table. He did derive from a god, but that's about it.
How does he pick?
A coin toss? Not a gold coin, no.
Not a gold coin.
Not a gold coin. It did not say. I don't think he does, because I think it's, as I said, it's truly the idea that death comes for everyone.
So is in that spirit, does he eventually visit everyone then?
I think he would.
Because then I feel like if you do that, then it sort of crosses paths with the idea of the personification of death.
Yeah.
Right?
It is he's a harbinger of death. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes that things are starting to click a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he necessarily has to come for everyone. It's just like kind of like a spicy death. So like it's not like you deserved it in some way. It's not based on karma. It's just like a hey, you also get to know when you're going to die, and it's going to be this guy that rides up on a horse.
So spicy death, you deserve that shit.
You deserve that spicy death. But in like the same way that like, and I know I've said this before, like the banshee gets a really bad rap. The banshee doesn't kill anybody. The banshee just informs you that you're gonna die. And actually, there are some interpretations of the Dullahan, especially when he's the coachman and not the horseman, that a banshee rides with him, screaming along to warn that the death is coming.
Ooh.
I only saw that in like one source, so I didn't want to like quote that. But there is like an interpretation that like he also has like a girl with him, and they just like ride together. But as I said, banshees, they don't kill people. They just inform actually very specific families that a member is going to die within the family, and the reason they scream and have like red eyes is because they're supposed to like they're mourning the person who already died, and like it's just intense mourning with their like kerning. Yeah.
I said I didn't know about that. That's interesting to me.
Yeah. No, the banshees are super. I'll probably talk about the banshees at some other point, but they're super interesting. Get such a bad rap. They are, as I said, like a lot of Irish folklore is not scary in that way. It kind of like, especially around death, it kind of just happens. As I mentioned, the doppelganger, like it's said that if you see your doppelganger, there'll be something physically on them that will show you or give you a hint about how you're going to die. So like, say you see your doppelganger and they're like completely soaking wet and you're like, oh, I'm probably going to drown to death, or something with water will happen to me, or there's some form of disfigurement. It's never the thing you see is going to, it's not, I shouldn't say it's never. A lot of the times it's not the thing you see is going to kill you. It's just going to tell you that death is coming for you soon.
Hmm.
So,
that makes sense. I feel like there's a lot of actual doppelganger action out there. Have you guys ever seen if there's somebody who's a doppelganger reviewer? Has anybody ever told you like, yeah, I think that might be your doppelganger? Has that ever happened to you guys by chance? Just curious.
I've had people say I look like other people. I don't think I've ever had someone say like this person's exactly like you.
I've never had one, but there is pretty much one in my town of my grandma, and we always think it's my grandma, and it looks almost exactly like her. It's super creepy.
Oh, so it's your grandmother's doppelganger.
Yep.
Is
They
your
even
grandma still
dress.
alive?
She is. They even dress almost exactly the same.
Don't let them meet.
Can we,
That's so
if you feel comfortable with it, not public, but can we see photos if you have them by chance?
Of both of them?
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how close.
Yeah. I'll
Check
have-
the laws about taking pictures of people in
Yeah.
your state
I'm not saying
first.
go and
I
take a
mean-
picture. I'm just saying, does grandma have a photo of her doppelganger? And if you just ask her, right? Hey, Graham.
Yeah.
No, this is a woman that just lives in town, like
Yeah.
her town. They don't know each other.
I always see her in Walmart, only Walmart. And it's every like 6 months or less. So next time I'll just have to go up to her and be like, this is super weird. Can I take a picture of you? You look exactly like my grandma.
Are you my grandma?
Are you
Just
my
tell her that Frank asked. She'll get it. She'll do it.
I'll just walk up and be like, Frank asked for a picture of you. You look like my grandma. Click, run.
I think she may just be like, Frank who? And you just tell her Frank Barrientos, obviously, and then she'll be like, oh yeah,
Bobby.
obviously.
I had a thought
You'd be
and
like,
it's gone.
"Why?" You'd be like, Frank, I'm not gonna be able to make my next episode. I'm so sorry. You'd be like, what? I'm in jail.
I'm in jail for harassment.
I think if you get permission, it's fine. I mean, technically, as far as photos are concerned, if it's a public place, you can take them legally. But Walmart is actually private property. So, I mean, if Walmart's cool with it, fine. And I don't think they have the resources to go after everyone that takes a photo or video of Walmart, because we all know there's a lot of photos and videos out there of Walmart. But no,
I'll
don't
just call Mr. Walmart and ask.
don't cross any legal boundaries, I would say.
Yeah, don't do that.
Maybe
No,
don't.
oh, so the thing I was gonna say, I do remember now, is the only weird thing that ever happened to me similar to a doppelganger, but not completely, is I was at a trivia night with a bunch of friends, and I would say my name is not a super common name, especially for people under the age of like 65. You don't know many Joans under 65.
I have an Aunt Joan who has passed away, but she was old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Math checks out.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You know, not everyone gets to age. It's truly a gift that I keep reminding myself that I get. But someone handed me a dollar bill at this trivia night, and it was like I like gave money, and it was money given back to me, and the dollar bill said like, "Thanks, Joan. We love your husband." And this was like before I was married and stuff like that, but like Justin was there with me. And I was like, this is so like it was written. I don't have the dollar bill anymore, but I have a picture of it just to remind it. But I was like, this is so weird that I got this dollar bill specifically. And it's like written in pen. And I'll send a picture to the Discord later. But like, yeah. That's like the closest thing to like a weird doppelganger situation I've had.
That's so weird.
I would say the closest that I've had, and when I asked these guys this question, I didn't think about it, but I've been thinking about it this whole time. When I was in 8th grade, I had a teacher. Her name was Mrs. Mueller, and she was kind of a bitch, famously kind of a bitch, totally fine, whatever. I never knew this other kid, and she kept calling me Alex, and she kept calling him Frank, and I don't think we look anything alike. And then she was really like, we kept telling her, like, we kept correcting her, like, that's not my name, you know, like, figure out your students, you know. I don't think it's too big of a deal if we're going to be expected to remember your name to, you know, mutually, you know, try to remember ours, you know, especially over time. And I think like 2 or 3 months into school, she kind of was just like, fuck it, I'm going to call you Fralix. And she said that to both of us. And then she did that. And I just felt very disrespected the rest of the year. But I'm going to see if I think I could probably find this guy on Facebook. I'm going to get it. I'll throw it in the Discord privately for y'all to so you can see, like, at least maybe as adults, how not alike we look. Hold on. Go on.
I mean, in her defense, I sometimes call my husband the
Oh,
dog's name.
don't do that.
And I
Oh.
don't think they look alike at all. I do sometimes say that I gave birth to the dog. I was like, this you came from me. And I go, look, Justin, he has brown eyes like you, and he has red hair like me, even though I dye my hair. But yeah, no, I will call out. But like he also grew up with his mom calling him the dog's names too. Uh I was never called my actual name by my grandparents.
What do they call you?
They called me Maggie, which is my mom's name. The funny part is the grandparents that did that, I was named after her. So she could have said her name.
All right.
But I was always Maggie.
I found this guy's Facebook. I'm not his friend, but I have like 100 mutual friends. And I'm going to try to find a photo that looks semi-convincing.
Oh my God, is it Alex Jones? Is he in the chat right now?
Shit, no, it's not Alex. I don't think anybody would confuse me for Alex Jones. And if they did, Lord help me.
By the way, Alex Jones says, I think fear is for the weak.
Hey, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
That's a take. Solid.
This guy actually looks a lot like Doug. Just saying. I feel like, and like when I put the picture in the chat, let me know if he looks more like me or more like Doug. I don't know. I'll just use.
Does Kay know what Doug looks like?
Kay,
you know what, Kay? Don't answer. Just say yes or no to what the guy looks like.
I actually have a good suspicion that Alex Jones might actually be Doug, to be honest with you. All right, let me go ahead and Joan, since you do know what Doug looks like,
I do.
You let me know if it looks like me or closer to Doug. This is the guy. This is the guy that she was calling for Alex and me. She was confusing.
It doesn't look like either of you.
That's true. It doesn't look like.
It just looks like a guy. It's just a guy. Is
Yep.
it? How many? Putting this lightly, how many non-white people were in your class?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, quite a few.
Okay.
Most of our classes at that particular time had, I think the average was 30 to 35 students. And I would say out of that 30 to 35 students, probably about half were non-white.
Okay. Got it. Because that's the only other thing I could think of is that, unfortunately, you two have the same complexion.
Well, he's Italian, though, and like I'm Polish and Mexican and Slovenian. Like I'm a Slav and I'm Mexican. Like I'm a Mexican Slav, and he's not.
You guys have the same complexion, no matter background. Unless he must tan real well.
I mean, he's probably got like I think he's got like complexion wise, he's got like that olive skin that some Italian people have, where they do tan really well.
Yeah.
Like, that is also because the Moors were in they were in Sicily or whatever, and they have darker complexions, and that plays into it, I guess, right? I don't know.
Yes.
I actually tan super well too. I usually don't need sunscreen, even though I'm using it now that I'm more serious about my skincare as an older fellow. When I was younger, I never needed any kind of like sunscreen on my face. If I went to the pool, it was all banana boat oil, and I loved it.
I need sunscreen if I sit next to a window.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
the half Irish.
So, kind of a funny story. I don't know how awkward you guys are when you meet people, but the person who actually started Super Balls with me, her name was Kat, and her name was actually Katie, but she went by Kat, right? Literally the first time I met her, I didn't say hi. I didn't say, oh, hey, my name is Frank. I didn't say nice to meet you. I said, you are really pale. That's how awkward I am.
That's a conversation starter or ender, who depending on her personality.
Yeah, we became really good friends. It was awesome.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, no,
I'm glad that relationship worked out for you in that way.
I don't want to call it a relationship, but no, that it was really, that's how awkward it was. But no, I mean, I can respect that. Like I some days, like I feel like I'm really blessed to have the complexion that tans really well, because I know that sucks for like if you don't have that. Okay, how do you tan? Do you tan well?
I
Me? Oh,
will
yeah.
I will burn a little bit, but if I do burn, it's like it's a little painful the next day, and then after that I'm good. I just tan. Hunter, on the other hand, like gets a sunburn if he thinks about the sun.
Okay, can I ask you if you're comfortable telling me or telling us, and I might edit this out, but can you tell us Hunter's ancestry so we know, like, he's not, is he like Italian like Alex here?
I think he's mainly German.
Well, that would explain it actually.
There are
Yeah.
there are some parts of Germany though where they do tan
And I
very
think
well.
I think a little Irish, but yeah, he has a little bit of red in his hair hidden. But
Oh.
yeah, so he thinks about the sun and he sunburns. And he actually started working night shift at one point and he kept going out in the sun and he's like, "Why is my sunburn turning red and splotchy and like hives?" And
Uh,
he actually developed an allergy to the sun. So
No.
oh wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, so he just needs exposure therapy whenever he can get it.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I feel like if you're somebody who like tans well, it comes with the caveat, like if you tan well, you usually somehow do much better in winter. Like somehow like you're kind of built for the colder temperatures, like you're not as sensitive to the cold. Like that's my perception. But I feel like I do tan well, but I also love the cold. I actually don't like the heat. I don't like hot temps, which is weird because I tan well. Is that weird? Am I
No.
making coherent?
No. I always say I can always add on more layers. I can only take off so many. So I don't like being hot. I'd rather be cold.
He does make like really interesting trips to the beach and the lake though, because I'm like, well, if I just do like one layer of SPF 30 or something, I'll be good for the whole day. And I'm like, do you have your, you know, SPF 50 shirt and do you have your SPF 50 sunscreen and your hat that covers your ears and we got to reapply every 2 hours.
Do you guys actually like get a lot of sun where you're at
In the summer?
in the summer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really any other time of year. No.
All right. In the Discord there, I dropped a picture of Katie. So
We have very wet early summers that people don't seem to remember when they plan their like weddings for when they plan their weddings for June. It's very wet here. And then it's personally, we always do this thing like, what's your perfect day? And I'm like, I really like a late August, early September where you have to wear a sweatshirt when you go out in the morning, but you take it off by midday. That's my favorite. Like it doesn't go over 70. Perfect.
I think in comparison, or actually into contrast with you guys, Chicago weather is just ridiculously unpredictable to the point where like there is sometimes a 60 to 70 degree change in temp throughout the day if you're going through like a seasonal transition. So like like yesterday I think we hit 60, and then today not yesterday, like day before yesterday I think we hit like 60, and then yesterday night into this morning we were like below 30. There was snow on the ground. So like it's just wild temperature swings here with complete like nothing is predictable. You can't predict. I know I feel jealous that even you can be like, oh well, I know that it's going to be kind of a wet, you know what I mean, like that time of year. Here it's like you can't put money on shit. But I will say my favorite day is where it's like maybe like in the 70s and I just like it to be super windy. I don't know what it is. I like the wind. I love it. If you give me a windy day, I'm happy. Especially if it's like a windy day where like the pressure's really low, like a storm's rolling in. That sort of weather is my favorite.
Thank God you live in the Windy City. Thank God.
Where
else could you be?
We're actually not in the windiest city, and we don't live up to that name. And I think that name came from the fact that when they were building like the downtown, it was windy when you're like on the steel beams high up trying to build the skyscrapers. I don't think that title actually holds any water. We're nowhere near, I think, the top windy city in the country. Kay, what's your favorite weather? Can we talk about that for just a minute? What do you like?
Oh gosh. Probably like a nice warm sunny day, not above 80 though. I'd say like 80 is my cutoff. I don't like
80's the cutoff.
Yeah, maybe 85, but yeah, I think it was 3 years ago, we got up to 116, and that was the worst thing I think I've ever felt as far as weather.
We had that last year. We did have that last year, and I remember talking to Mike Kim about it. Like, it feels like there's a heater on your body. Like, if you ever sat next to a heater, it felt like that walking outside. For us, it lasted, I think, like 3 days last year. Like last July, I think, is when that hit us, and it was crazy.
Have you guys ever gotten to that before? Was it like a record?
No, it was not a record. I think the record for us in my lifetime, if I'm not mistaken, in the suburbs of Chicago, where I've kind of been in and out of the city, but I'm pretty sure my hottest temp has been like 120 record wise, if I'm not mistaken. And I think during the hottest time in the summer, I think for 2 weeks, you can count on between 100 and 110, the hottest week of the year, the hottest 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, it's kind of similar over here, but 116 was the hottest on record
What
for Portland.
for Portland?
And yep, for Portland. And it was like people had never ever felt that before because it's so humid over here.
Oh, it was the record. I just looked at it. It is the record,
Yeah.
116.
It was awful. Like we drove somewhere and we had our AC on full blast in the car and the AC could not keep up. And you couldn't roll down your windows because that didn't help. But yeah, I've been in like 115-degree heat in Utah and that had nothing on the 116 in Portland. It was awful.
Actually, looking at the record, it was 117 here, where I was. So, I don't know. I heard that Joan doesn't get very many hot days. You get a lot of hot days? Do you guys go up to like...
We had heat waves recently. I mean, like, it doesn't get as hot as you guys, but we do have like a lot of humidity, as I said, and like recently it hasn't been as bad, but we keep getting all of the smoke from like the fires that keep happening.
Oh, I remember that.
So
That
like we had
like,
one from California, and then we were also getting the Canadian fires last year. So like the weather was more like wear your masks again because it's hard to breathe.
we had the
So that was it.
Yeah, we had last summer we had the Canadian wildfire where like I woke up, went to work, and I drive down Lakeshore Drive to get to work, or I was at that time. And I remember it was a interesting day because like President Biden was in Chicago to give talks, so there's like helicopters everywhere. I literally just woke up and thought it was a foggy day. I didn't realize it, and then I got in the car. I'm like, I don't think this is actual fog. It smells like burning. And I'm like, oh, wildfire. All right.
Yeah, no, I think we smelt it the day before, like it really rolled in because like a lot of like I remember going like smelling and I'm like, is there like a local fire? Like what is happening? And it got so bad I remember that they wouldn't let us take like pets out or they're like limit walks for pets because it's hard for them to breathe. But you know what also has fire coming out of it is the Dullahan's horse's nostrils. So if we want to like literally stop talking about the weather
Hey,
and wrap up tonight's discussion
got it.
about Irish folklore.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Any questions or comments about the topic first? Anybody? I don't. I think it's kind of cool. I like it.
It's fun. I think it's fun. I find folklore really fun. I usually don't believe in it, but I do think it usually teaches lessons of some sort or really highlights on what a culture thinks is important to discuss and share with generations to come. So,
does Dullahan have a lesson that you took from it at all?
Death comes for everyone.
Okay.
And also, don't be a looky-loo. If you hear hoofbeats in the night, you go to bed.
I thought you take out your gold and throw it in that direction.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. All my gold that I just have. You're right. Let me grab that.
What am I supposed to do if I'm allergic to gold?
Just go to bed. If you hear something coming, just go to bed.
Get in bed.
Yeah.
Deuces. Good night.
Do you have any questions or comments about the topic itself before we give final thoughts?
I just wish that his carriage was a little creepier.
Tracks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that that photo that we were shown, I feel like that interpretation could have been a lot scarier.
Okay.
Well, yeah, no, I think, yeah.
I'll write in.
I feel like you hype like candles and coffins and horses with fire coming out of the nose, and then we see it. It's like, oh, this could be any carriage, literally.
I didn't draw the picture myself.
And you hyped this up. You hyped this up, and then the photo didn't live up to.
This is my fault.
I'm saying it's your fault. I'm just saying you hyped it, and then that photo.
I think Frank is onto something though. I think instead of scaring kids with Krampus and be like, Santa's not gonna come, Krampus is gonna come, we start saying Dullahan. Dullahan will come for you.
Why not both? It's not Christmas time, Dullahan. Christmas time, Krampus. We could do both.
Yeah.
There's room for more than one. There's room for more than one way for you to troll your kids.
I do think that now that we've covered the Dullahan, we do have to have someone cover the German headless horseman and just really pressure James into finally giving us the Sleepy Hollow headless horseman episode we've been waiting for.
Oh, I didn't know we were waiting for that, but that makes sense.
Oh, I personally was. He said I couldn't talk about headless horsemen.
I didn't know he felt that way. I guess I don't think about it too deeply. I only know that, like, for me, I'm always on the lookout for topics, and I think I just want to do a show on bad omens. Just talk about historically things that have been bad omens. I think that's one thing that I'm going to write down for the future.
I have a whole book. I love superstitious beliefs as well, just like stupid things. And like I like to bring them up randomly. It's like a party trick. But like, for example, never gift a sharp object. Like that's seen as like bad in a lot of cultures. In Germany, you're not supposed to, and a lot of people do it here as a practice, but you're never supposed to cheers with water or like clink glasses with water. So
why not?
It's said that if you do that, it is wishing your drinking partner's death.
Oh, but you could use it strategically though.
Well, that's another thing that I heard, that when you toast, the reason you like clink glasses is that if your glass was poisoned, it would be like where you sipped. So you're like, you're dooming yourself to death. That's also why you have to make eye contact and like have to touch glasses before you sip.
We got,
it's good faith.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you here. We got Virginia saying, hey, everybody, I like hearing about superstitions too. Interesting stuff. Virginia, thank you for joining us, saying hello. Let us know what your favorite superstition is.
Yeah. And specifically join us April 22nd, because we are going to be talking specifically about wedding superstitions and also wedding ghosty, folklore-y, urban legendy stories as well. So if you like superstitions, because that's my favorite.
I will also say, Virginia says, I always knock on wood. I don't. People tell me, people get mad when I don't to do the knock on wood. I will also say that most episodes that we do of the show, I always like, there's a moment in time where like for a good half an hour, I'm thinking of like, what's a good intro for this? Like maybe if I can work in relevance to an intro or relevance to a song, that's what I'm going to do. But for superstition, it's pretty easy because I could just use that song, which I'm going to do. So
You should.
yeah, I mean, all right, cool. Final thought time. Yes.
Sure. Go ahead. Go crazy. Do you want me to go?
I'll go first.
Do it. Who did you say go first? Me? I did not hear you. Sorry. I thought you said I'll go first, and I was like, that's weird. You usually go last, but okay, you do it.
Yeah,
anyway.
First, also, Virginia just knocked on wood for us, or for me. I don't know, for me.
Thank you. I have that song stuck in my head now. Anyway, my final thought is that it is comforting that death comes for everyone. It is less comforting the way it sometimes comes, which you, as I mentioned, could have a spicy death with the Dullahan. But I also kind of want that because it feel pretty like epic, and like no one would have an excuse not to go to your funeral. They knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. So that's my final thought.
Okay, my final thought is that if you hear hooves, find your buddy and cheers them with a glass of water.
That's a good call. Good call.
Water. Awesome. Virginia says, bummed I missed the stream, but we'll rewatch it and knocked out again. But for all you, why not? Thanks, Virginia. Thanks for checking us out. But yeah, it's cool. I know that I think you said you rewatched and then caught our one show. I think you were here for Egyptian Curses, which was great. Yeah, awesome show. But thanks for joining us, even if it is late. We do definitely appreciate you saying hi, just like anybody who wants to say hi. Appreciate it. Even Alex Jones, thanks for popping in. Whoever Alex Jones might be, if you're the actual Alex Jones, okay. And then if you're someone who just happens to have the same name, I'm so sorry. Thanks, Virginia. She says such cool topics. Let us know if you have any ideas for topics. If you ever have an idea for a topic and you wanted to tell us, you can go to latenightlegends.boo. We have a special place where you could submit like a little page you can go to submit a topic idea, or since you're a member of the Discord, go ahead and let us know in the Discord. I know that it seems like the Discord, like we don't really use it, but we actually use it a lot. We just mostly, the staff side uses it to discuss business. So in that same vein though, if you'd like to join our Discord, you can have a link to it in the bottom of this very stream. It says, hey there demons, it's me, your boy. And then under that, it says join our spooky Discord community. So you can click on that just like Virginia did and join us. And if you ever want to talk about scary things or get our take on things, talk to all of our hosts directly at the same time, which I think is really cool because, like, for example, tonight we don't have James on or Charlie or Jesse, but if you ever, like, if you know, we're listening to tonight and you want to get their take on maybe something we talked about, or if you want to ask James directly about like headless horseman topic, you could totally do that. So you could. Anyway, with that being said, my final thought is I loved the topic for tonight. I do want to learn more about these type of things because admittingly, I don't know a whole lot about some of this folklore stuff. So, but yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. We will see you all next week. We're going to talk about paranormal art. And then after that, we're going to talk about Bandage Man, which is going to be exciting for me because he actually looks pretty cool too. And yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks for coming on, Virginia, and we'll see y'all next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Listen, anybody, listen, anybody, listen, anybody, listen, anybody, listen.